Hello, and welcome to the DIY Take Home Wreath Kit from Bookworm Gardens. My name is Kate Tinker. I am joined by a member of our horticulture staff, Jenna, and we are so excited that you are here and are going to be doing our Take Home Wreath Kit. I'm going to start with a bit of an introduction. Bookworm Gardens is a botanic garden located in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, but you probably know that, and I bet you are super excited to get started making your very own one-of-a-kind winter wreath from your home. So I'm going to do an introduction about the materials that you received in your take-home kit. So you should have from Bookworm Gardens a wire wreath frame. Jenna's going to talk a little bit about why we love these types of frames so much. You will have some wire here, some floral wire that you're going to be using to affix your greens to your frame. All of this is going to come in a super cool bag right here that you can probably reuse for something amazing this holiday season. And you probably have some really awesome greens that you got from Bookworm Gardens. And Jenna is going to talk about the variety of different types of greens that you got to choose from and why they are so amazing. And this smells so good right now. Happy holidays, super exciting. The other things that you received in your take-home kit are probably some super cool accessories. So I have a copper pine cone here. We've got some dried oranges. You might have picked up some really cool ribbon. So we've got lots of different things to choose from. And Jenna is gonna talk a little bit about some accessories you might have around your house that you can use as well. So before you get started, I would like you to find a couple things around your house that you will need. You might want a hot glue gun. You might want to get a pair of pruners or heavy duty scissors. So I have some Felcos here and some scissors. Plain old kitchen scissors will do too, as long as there's something that's pretty heavy duty that you'd be able to cut through some of the branches. And then a wire cutter if you have one, or again, plain old scissors will work. So a hot glue gun and something to cut with, and we are going to get started. So without further ado, let me introduce Jenna, who works in our horticulture team, and she will tell you a little bit more about all of these lovely materials.
Hello everyone. I'll do a little introduction about all the materials, the natural materials that I have harvested for you guys, so we can kind of just do a small intro on those, as well as about myself. I'm Jenna. As Kate said, I'm a horticulturist here at Bookworm, and I've been here for about just over a year, about a year and a half, and I've taught all the wreath classes since I've started here. So just moving on to the materials. So some of the things you might have picked up, there's arborvitae, which is one of our lovely greens. It's a beautiful dark green, and the leaves, or the scales rather, add another kind of texture to a wreath. Another material is spruce. It is a beautiful green. The needles are slightly more pokey, so if you don't like touching them, feel free to put gloves on. It'll help protect your hands, but you can still work with material safely. And they do have a fabulous scent. Also pine. This is a white pine, has that beautiful pine scent. It has a more of a light green color, which is also beautiful in wreaths, as well as it's more wispy, which also adds a nice fun texture. Our last green material is boxwood. Boxwood is not a conifer, so it doesn't have the needles, it has leaves. And the front side is a dark green, whereas the back side is a beautiful lighter green. So it's a two-tone, which you can use to your advantage in a wreath. You can have both sides facing up, so you can get the light green as well as the dark green mixed into your wreath to add that little bit of contrast and color. And then going on to some of the other materials, we have red twig dogwood. It is obviously red, which adds another lovely color and accent to your wreath. It can be just an accent, or you can use it in your bundles as well. So another piece are hydrangea flowers. So you can either use them as is, as dried, or as with the pine cones that Kate had showed you before that are copper toned, you can spray paint them to any color you want. You can make them gold, you can make them silver, you can do crazy colors to add that little bit of excitement to your wreath, whatever you want. So then going on to a little bit about harvesting materials, if you want to harvest maybe your own materials, or maybe you want to make another wreath, you had so much fun making one, you want to make another one, and you just happen to have some materials at home you can use. So when you're harvesting a natural material, you want to make sure you are harvesting responsibly. You don't want to take an entire branch off that is a perfect branch that kind of just adds that nice little bit of shade or is going to look funny if it's removed. So harvest responsibly. Don't take more than you need to. Don't waste. Unless you are pruning that tree, then just take what you need from your pruning pile. Prune off branches that won't be noticed. Don't leave giant holes. Don't cut everything from the center of your plant. Try to either go on the back side or make sure you're just doing it so it looks more natural. And then you also want to make sure you hide the cuts. You don't want to take a pine branch and then just leave the end of the branch cut open and wide. That will look kind of funny. You're going to be disappointed how it looks later in the year as it continues to grow. So a few little reminders before we get started. Make sure, depending on your table space, you might not have enough room to have some of your more decorative objects that you're going to use later. So you just might want to set those off on the side or put them on another table, because if you are using something glass that you're gonna, like glass ornaments that you might put on, you don't want them to fall on your floor and shatter. So just put those off to the side safely so you're not going to have to worry about those falling off while you're working. Also, have fun. Be creative. Doesn't matter what your wreath is going to look like as long as you're happy with it. You can do pretty much anything you want with it. Just have fun. So then we're going to just continue on to the demonstration a little bit. So how you make winter wreaths is you start with bundles. So you start with a bundle which is made up of anywhere between 3 and 5, usually, individual branches or small sections of branch, which are usually about 5 to 7 inches long. And to make a bundle, you just layer those branches into a group. They don't all have to be the same. This is an entire bundle of spruce, but you don't have to. You can do something such as mixing two, so this is pine and arborvitae, so you can get the 2 different colors, 2 different textures, or if you want to, be even more creative and add boxwood in there. So you can layer and mix and match all you want to get those bundles, and all the bundles don't have to be the same. So you can have bundles of spruce intermixed with bundles with 2 or 3 other varieties in there, just to add a little bit of contrast. It depends on what you want your wreath to look like and what you're aiming for. So then when you get your wreath frame, you're going to want to make sure that you're going to have it look like a bowl. So you want to have the curved side facing up, and you're going to have that on the table in front of you, bowl up. Okay, so we switched views so you can just see actual wreath making a little bit easier, because it's always a little tricky to see what people's hands are doing. So you're going to start once again with your wreath frame looking like a bowl. So you have it concave so you can looks like a bowl, so you're going to be able to place whatever you want and it doesn't fall out. So then you're going to take your lovely bundle, whichever bundle you want to start with. You're going to make sure it's arranged kind of how you like it. You can kind of fluff it, move things around, change the order, however you want it to look. And then you're going to set it inside the concave opening. And you're going to take your wire, your floral wire, and securely wrap it. On your first one, you might want to take it out and do a few wraps while it's in the air, just to get that little bit of start. And then you're going to wrap it securely to the frame. You can go in between the wires if you need to, or depending on how big your bundle is, you might have to just go around the entire area. But you want to just make sure it's securely attached, so you can just kind of wiggle it around and it won't move too much. You want to just make sure it's not going to fall off. And then you're going to have your second bundle. So you can either have your bundles pre-made ahead of time and just sitting there ready to go, or you can make one at a time and attach it in that order. So it's entirely up to you however much space you want to work with. If you want to just play around with ideas and designs, But then you're going to take your second bundle and overlap it about halfway around your first. So you're going to cover up the bottom part of that bundle. And then once again, you're just going to wrap it. Make sure you're not cutting your wire in between. You're going to want one continuous wire. It's going to make your life a lot easier, and it'll save you a little bit of time. You're going to have that one securely attached. So it's going to look kind of interesting at first, but you'll get the hang of it as you go around. And if you have these edges that are a little long, feel free to snip them off, or you can just make sure you can kind of tuck them around and then just lay your next bundle right on top of those. And then you're going to keep going, continuing this all the way around the wreath frame. And when you get to your last bundle, you're going to tuck it behind. So you're going to need to lift up and tuck behind the very first bundle. So once you get there, and you got that one securely attached with your wire, you're going to kind of, well, it depends on if you're going to have a wire loop as you're hanging, or if you're going to use either a ribbon, or you're going to just have it just be nothing and sit on whatever you're going to have it on. So you're going to make sure you make that decision before you cut your wire. So this wreath, I'm going to just say I'm going to have it be hung by a ribbon. So I'm going to make about a 4-inch or so tail and cut my wire. And then you're going to take your tail and securely tie it, wrap it around however you need to do it. Just make sure it is securely attached to your wreath frame. You do not want that last knot or twisted wire to come off. You're going to keep twisting it around and around until you have nothing and it's going to be securely attached, because that's what making sure your greens and floral do not fall off the frame. So once you have that attached and you're finished, you're happy how it looks, and it's not wiggling too much. If it is wiggling, you're going to just want to go through, grab the wire, and make sure you twist it to tighten it up. And you're going to just need to keep going around and around, making sure it's tight and doesn't fall off, doesn't wiggle when you hold it up. But then once you got it to the point where you're happy with it, it's secure, it's not going to fall off if you have it on a door and the door is going to be opening and closing. Okay, so then going on to some of the fun embellishments and fun things. So you can take either some cool pine cones that we have that are spray painted, whatever else you might have picked up at Bookworm. You can take those and then add kind of whatever you find at home. I'll just show you how to attach a few of these to your wreath. So you can either attach them with hot glue, so you're gonna just add a nice dollop of glue to the bottom and make sure it's securely stuck on as it dries, or you can take floral wire and just wrap it around the bottom, kind of tucking it in around so it's not too visible, and then you're gonna just twist it, and then you have a pine cone that you can just wrap around your wreath frame in your bundles. Or you can take these really cool oranges that Kate dried, stick a wire through them, kind of like you would with an ornament, and then you're going to attach those as well to your wreath. But then there's also so many fun things, little wood cookies, ribbon, kind of whatever else you can find. But then also don't forget to explore kind of what you might have sitting around at home. You might have some old Christmas ornaments that you might not want to use on your Christmas tree this year, or some other little jingle bells or other little fun Christmassy little embellishments that you might have laying around. Go explore, go dig through all those holiday boxes, see what you can find. You might be surprised how much fun things you might find to add to your wreath. But then also don't forget to go look around your garden. You might have your own dried hydrangeas that you can spray paint, or if you like them just how they are, add those to them, kind of add that little bit of floral texture to your frame, to your wreath. Or you might have your own crab apples, you might have your own other berries that are in some of your beautiful shrubs. Harvest some of those and add them to your wreath. You never know what you might find unless you go around and look. And if you decide you don't like it or you want to change it, go right ahead. It's your wreath. Be creative and have fun. Okay, so Kate made this beautiful wreath as I was doing the demonstration earlier. Just kind of show you a finished wreath. So she used white pine, arborvitae, and boxwood. So that's the entire wreath is kind of mixed in with those three things. So then at this point is when you can start attaching your embellishments however you kind of want, just kind of, or if you want, just leave it plain. There's nothing wrong with a beautiful, just green wreath. But then also, when you're at this point, you can think about on the back side, are you gonna have a wire loop? Or is that how you're gonna hang your wreath? Or you can take some ribbon, kind of just feed it through the center, tie a bow, and hang it this way. Or if you don't want to deal with either of those, you can always just set the wreath frame onto the hook that's going to be on whatever door that you're going to hang it on, or whatever you want to hang it, just set it on there. And then when you have your wreath completed, you're probably thinking about whether you want to hang it inside or outside. Kind of a rule of thumb is the colder it is, the longer your wreath is going to last. So if you have it hanging on your front door outside, it's going to last longer than it will in your kitchen wall. It's going to last much longer outside than inside. And then just kind of, if you want to think about either making another wreath or kind of just next year do your own, you can save the metal wreath frame that you got from us. You can save this frame, just cut off all the greens, cut off the materials, and save it. Then you can have another wreath frame for next year. Also, if you want to do your own wreath, make another one, maybe have some other your friends, family, whatever, work with you and make more wreaths on your own. Wreath frames, you can buy them at Joann's, you can buy them at Michael's, you can buy them any craft store, they'll have wreath frames. This is this 12-inch wreath frame, which is pretty good for a usual front door size. But feel free to buy more wreath frames, continue on, make more, make them for other seasons. Just have fun and explore, be creative. Kind of experiment with different bundle sizes. The thicker your bundle is, the bigger and more full your wreath is going to be. The smaller the bundle, the thinner the bundle, the flatter, thinner wreath it's going to be. So just experiment, play around. If you don't like it, start over. There's no harm in experimenting and trying it. So explore all those creative ideas and have fun making wreaths. Thank you.